too much pain?
A little bit of both, swelling, pain, restricted movement. So obviously the swelling, and you got to hit pretty hard. So just some limited movement that didn't get better over the days like we thought it would.
Hey, by Manning here. Welcome to the Garn Report. We talked about the game. We talked about Grant's performance, as well as some of the other big storylines out of this one. But the big one coming in is Marcus Smart missing the game. Super surprising. With a quad contusion, hit a couple times guarding Drew Holiday in game one, as well as on another play. And the tightness, Ime said, never let up. Mobility restrictions, swelling, all those things continued over the past 2 days here, and he feels good about Marcus getting back for a game 3. But as for tonight, they missed him. Derrick White stepped into that starting lineup and wasn't great, but your immediate reaction to Smart stepping out, Josue Pavon?
I wasn't surprised, Bobby, because I get it. I mean, this is such a quick turnaround between game 1 and 2, so I can understand why the Celtics were like, you know what, let's take advantage of the longest break we have of this best-of-7 series. Who knows, maybe this thing goes to distance, and we're going to need Marcus at the end of that, you know? So I thought it was a smart plan. A risky one, yes, and the reason why I say that is because I expected a little more from Derrick White, and I'm sure a lot of Celtics fans did as well, but I just don't see a space where he can really attack this defense, honestly. I mean, I just think it's that stifling. We saw him, actually you saw him, you posted a video of him working on those floaters. Yeah, he needs to get that down, Bobby, because I feel like the Bucks, the way that this defense is pinching in the sense of him, putting him in tough spots, like if he's not knocking that down, I mean, he's unable to get to the rim, he's unable to find that offensive rhythm, but he's gonna have to find a way to just be productive on the other end, and also being a playmaker, which is exactly what the Celtics traded him for, is, you know, essentially a secondary playmaker to sort of tame the offense. I thought he did that a little bit in some stretches, but outside of that, he was pretty much unnoticeable. But to answer your question, Bobby, I mean, I'm not surprised. I like the Celtics' approach with how they handled Marcus Smart's injury, and I also think it galvanized the team. I think that it brought them together, wanting them to put a win, you know, together for Marcus. And man, 5 minutes into it, with the hot start that the Celtics had in that first quarter, Marcus couldn't contain himself, man. He was out here, he was on his feet. He was like an assistant coach for these guys, and I just thought that was a great moment for the team as a whole in the postseason.
For sure. As for White, he can't dream of hitting a shot right now. It's unreal, and he fouls a lot in this one. 5 fouls, ends up missing most of that fourth quarter. Not a huge factor. I did like his second quarter with, as you said, the secondary ball movement. Some of those long passing stretches, as we talked about in the other video, keyed this win. But no real separation on the ball. When he's not a scoring threat, he's not a big primary level passing threat in that spot, which Smart is. So it's not exactly a perfect backup for Smart right now, and White just has to play better. I mean, Brian Robb wrote about it this morning in Mass Live, good piece, saying that they just got to need more from him, because he's their key rotation guy. Payne Pritchard gave them some good minutes, which was key, gave him good spacing in those lineups, but he doesn't exactly have the passing forte that White has. So you wish you could combine the two guys in the one player, but right now they're splitting between the pros and cons of those two.
And it's tough because, you know, Peyton Pritchard's going to get that shot off. He's going to get those open looks, and you can't necessarily set up Derrick White in that same way, you know.
He's brutal catch and shoot right now.
Right, he is, and you know, it's something to keep an eye on, because this is the kind of player that the Celtics traded for this particular reason. Not just because Marcus Smart is banged up right now, but also because they needed that guy to come off the bench, that secondary playmaker, to be solid, to be consistent, giving you, you know, that type of effort on both ends of the floor that has flourished, you know, throughout his tenure with the Celtics, you know. So it's always been consistency with him. And, you know, he was inconsistent in the first round. I think that was something that was overlooked, because when you're sweeping, you know, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and the Celtics, I mean, in the Nets, the last thing you're looking at is you know, Derrick White's numbers. But, you know, he's got to get those shooting numbers up. I mean, look, he shot what, 27% from behind the arc in round 1. He barely shot 30%. You know, coming into this one, believe it or not, game 1 was his best postseason performance, which was, you know, 10 points, 2 of 6. I want to see a little more from him, and you know, outside of that though, I'm hoping that Marcus Smart can bounce back, and this rest going to do him some good, you know, between now and game 3.
Jaylen Brown will need it as well. Still dealing with the hamstring ailment that's plagued them. Says he's good. He's going to play game 3. Saw him grabbing it late in the fourth quarter. Here's what Ime Udoka had to say about what he's going through right now and what went into pulling him with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, he's obviously, it may tighten up during games. You know, he's playing heavy minutes, and really at the end of the game, we really wanted to get him out. He only sat out 2:45 of the third quarter, and then we brought him back in to start the quarter, and he ran that 9-minute stretch there. So being that we're up in the 16 to 18 range. We wanted to get him out. And, we had a lot of stoppages so we could run him a little longer due to the timeouts and due to the reviews. And more so than anything was just getting him out because he ran a heavy amount in the second half.
So that's what we got on Brown. We talked about Brown in a different video.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Go check out our video on Grant Williams as well, who was just amazing in this one. We're, of course, brought to you by HelloFresh.
Balling.
Grant's everywhere now. You can't stop him from getting to the podium, which is a problem for the Celtics if anyone's behind them.
We had a Grant row. We've never seen that before. Grant's never seen that before, he said. That's the first time he's ever seen it, on a collegiate level or any level for that matter. So
HelloFresh.com/playoff16. Get 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. You've seen all our examples of the amazing work we've done, and it's all thanks to them. It's prepackaged. Ingredients and instructions are laid out on paper, and all it comes right to your door. Go get your 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. HelloFresh.com/playoff16. Subscribe to Celtics All Access, CLNS Media. We will be live in Milwaukee later in the week. Josue and I, as well as A. Sherrod Blakely. So stay tuned for that. Live from FedEx Forum, Game 3 is Saturday afternoon, 3:30 Eastern. For Josue Pavon, I'm Bobby Manning. This has been the Garden Report.